What's going on, guys? Yokem here. So there's just so much crud and negativity going on in the Yu-Gi-Oh scene that I've noticed since I returned to the game about, a little under a year ago. And I want to shine a brighter and a healthier light for a bit here in this. I kind of want to do like a little bit of a series of just kind of discussing and talking about my greater experiences getting back into the game, and I want to encourage you guys and uplift you guys in also viewing this in a healthier way. Now, disclaimer, I understand where a lot of that hate kind of comes from, whether it's the fan base or the way that Konami handles things, and I don't blame you. Konami really makes some choices, shall we say. They're choices. Choices are made, decisions are had, and that's the company that we love. My first experience going to going to my local card shop was nothing short of awesome. After playing Legacy of the Duelist and a little bit of Master Duel, I walk into the shop and turned out, because it was a Saturday, it was the end of a tournament, it was kind of getting closer to when the shop closed. But I walked right up to the counter and I said to the guy, I said, "Hey, I'm new. I want to get back into the game. Where do I start?" And, he asked me when I stopped and I said GX, and he goes, "Okay." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I got 15 years to catch up on in the game." He grabbed a piece of paper and he immediately started writing down decks that weren't crazy expensive at the time. Decks like branded, because you can get the 3 structure decks. He recommended Rescue Ace because of all the new support that was coming out for it with not Dueling Nexus. That's the I think it was like Duelist Nexus. Regardless, and other stuff like Sword Soul, and he told me about the tournament schedule and what time it is, and how the shop's pretty casual for the most part, and the shop kind of ecosystem really welcomes a lot of new players, and that's what I needed. The shop that I went to it's not the closest shop to me. In fact, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to get to that shop because, there's the freeway. God only knows what the traffic's going to be doing, because it's always a nightmare, especially in that area. And then I have another, 20 minutes of street driving to do. And I don't need to go into all the nitty gritty nuances of it all, but like that shop's not super easy to get to, and it's not my closest shop. But I continue to go there because the way that the guy, he's not the owner, but he runs the like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon side of the shop, in the way that the people there really welcomed me. So he suggested I go around and talk to others in the shop. And I don't care how extroverted or introverted you are, or like me, I'm a real social butterfly. I'm usually one of the last to leave a party or gathering. Usually the people that I'm with are kind of tapping their toes and checking their watch, waiting for, come on, let's go. And, my goodbyes usually take another half an hour. But still going up to people at a shop like that I don't know, and also being new in the game and not knowing anything, so like I couldn't really participate in a lot of the conversations that were being had there because I felt so alienated. But then I realized that was all in my head, and I walked up to a guy, and it was just so great. This was the perfect person to walk up to. I checked his binder and was, really pretending like I knew what I was doing. But, I told him, I said, "Hey, I'm new returning to the game. What do you suggest that I do?" And he also had the same question. "Well, when did you stop playing?" I'm like, "End of GX, man. Like, I didn't even do synchros." And he goes, Okay. I'm like, I know. I got 15 years to catch up on. You're going to notice a trend in this story in the way that people kind of responded. And I don't want to make this video last too long, so bear with me, guys. I'm checking the time, and I just want to share this with you guys. I hope that you watch through all of this and listen. He suggested that I get the Trap Tricks pack, if you will, getting the 3 structure decks. So I took his advice, and I'm like, okay, 3 Trap Tricks decks. Okay, let's get those. And so I bought those 3 and got the good staples, of course, because even if I ended up not playing Trap Tricks anymore, I would still have those great staples. So then I walk over to another group, same thing. Hey, I'm new. Where do I start? When did you stop playing? GX. I know, 15 years, okay? That's the trend, of course. So one of the guys there, he suggested that when I get home and I'm making the deck using the 3 structure decks, that I watch a guy named Pack. Then I go on Master Duel, and I had not played Master Duel a ton at this point, and I spent every in-game resource that I had in order to craft the Trap Tricks deck the way that I have it in real life. And that was one of the rules that, as I was learning the game, and I think that this is a rule that if you're just getting into Yu-Gi-Oh, or just getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh, this is a rule that I think that you should also follow, at least in the very beginning while you're learning the game. Find a deck, make the deck. I still think that the 3 structure decks, whether it's the Trap Tricks or the Albaz, I wonder how different my Yu-Gi-Oh time would be had I got the 3 branded, if I made a branded deck versus the Trap Tricks deck. But regardless, maybe that'll be a video for another time. Back to the topic at hand. The rule that I think that you should really follow is, if you're going to craft a deck in Master Duel, only use cards that are legal to your region, if you're in the TCG or the OCG. And don't use things like Maxi. I know it's a staple in Master Duel, but you really have to learn. And that's exactly what I did. I know that Maxi is a super great and broken card, and we don't have it in the TCG. I still kind of use it, but not really. But regardless, I started playing Trap Tricks, the deck the way that I had it, and I only used legal cards in the TCG and cards that I physically had or knew that I could easily get at my locals or another card shop that I go to, and I count a lot of the success that I've had in the way that I've grown in this game because of things like playing Legacy of the Duelist on my Switch, and which, by the way, if you're gonna do it, don't buy that game brand new. It's like $30. It's been out for so long, you can get it used for a lot cheaper, typically around like $10. And the way that I played Master Duel with the rules that I had, and now I'm able to actually start coming up with different deck ideas and see what works out, kind of like my Trash Tricks deck, or I'm still figuring out that name. I'm thinking Cash Tricks. Regardless, if you haven't seen that deck profile, make sure you check that out. It's a combination of Kashtira and Trap Tricks. It's nasty, it's fun, it's really bricky sometimes, but I absolutely love playing it, because that's the other thing too, is play what you love. And if you love the meta, then freaking go play the meta. If you want to, if it's your prerogative to go and spend a lot of money to get the cards that are super expensive right now, then do it. And don't hate on people that don't. And if the meta is absolutely absurd to you and you don't want to pay those prices for singles, then piss off. No, I'm just kidding. That's fine. Just play what you love, and don't knock people that do. We're all in this community together. We don't need to be hating each other and drawing divides and gatekeeping and forgetting to shower. Like, we're all in this together, and we're all playing this game that we love together. I'm very fortunate that I haven't seen any like actual fights break out at my locals, and I've heard stories of that happening, and I'm super grateful that I haven't run into that. I'm super grateful that when I went to my first local and I said, hi, I'm new, those people knew that they were gonna win. And so what do? They slowed the game down. They, you know, one person even said, like, do you want me to see your hand? I'm like, yeah, here you go. Here it is. Like, what do you think I should do? You know, because he knew he was gonna win. It wasn't gonna affect him. He knew. And it very easily was going to be able to do it. And like, some people have given me cards, and you know, having those people with that duel that really slowed things down was absolutely fantastic, because it wasn't a hyper competitive environment. You know, another guy who was just spectating, he said, hey, you know, the one thing I really learned, like, you know, for example, was using Halatea, you know, because the word whole is in the name, you know, with things like, with cards like Miramello, I'm able to bring out Halatea. You know, I didn't realize that. As long as that, you know, those series of letters are in the card name, like, that's fantastic. So, I don't know. I don't want this to get too rambly and such, and I'll see what I can do of like maybe cutting some things out. I really hope you guys watch this, because I want to have this conversation with you guys. Again, we're in this community together. And the last point I want to bring up is there is zero problem with net decking. There's zero problem with going online, typing in this archetype deck, and figuring out a deck that works for you, because that's how we learn. You know, I still will do that. You know, I use it a little bit more as inspiration than just like a, you know, a carbon copy thing now, because I'm slowly learning my play styles and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I'm able to do kind of, it's like when you learn new math when you're in school growing up, you know, a lot of things start clicking a lot easier as you go. You know, you take the stuff from algebra and you can apply it to geometry, and there are certain, you know, principles and such, and there's no problem with net decking. I see a lot of that stuff online in the Facebook comment section, keyboard warriors, oh, you're just a net decking noob, or you're doing this, and it's like, let's just stop that. Let's stop that. We are in this together, guys. This is a wonderful game, and there are wonderful friendships that are forged because of it. So I want to know about you guys. How did you get into the game? Let me know in the comments. And if you have any things that you want to say, any thoughts that came up in the stuff that I shared today, again, let's have this conversation and let's grow this community together. Love you guys. I look forward to hearing from you and having a bit more of that dialogue. I do the best I can at replying to all of my comments. Fortunately, right now, that's not a lot. And so, but that's a principle that I don't want to let go of. You know, and as we continue to have this dialogue and grow together, let's just know, you know, what makes this game great and beautiful, and never forget those things, even in sight of the complaints that we have, because I know I've got them too. So if you guys want to know what some of those complaints are, let me know. Maybe I'll make a video. It'll be a very optimistic complaint video, because I don't want to it would just seem so contradictory of me, you know, with the theme of this video, and then immediately like crapping on the game and everything, you know. Regardless, I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching these videos, and well, with all of that, I end my turn.